Another test ride review for you today. Let me just point my head up here. Shout out to Macomb Powersports. This video review is only possible because of them. They are nice enough to let me come out here and hop on too many of these motorcycles to give you guys my opinions. Today we're test riding the Kawasaki KLR 650. This is a big bike. I mean, there's a lot of bike to it. It almost is like a cross between a dirt bike and a sport bike. Very cool looking, very interesting looking. Let's see if we can figure this guy out. So let's talk about positioning real quick. It's a taller bike. It's a lot of bike. It's a big bike. Pretty comfortable positioning, honestly. A little hard to maneuver. Got some weight to it. Very upright. Let's just get this thing on the road. Kawasaki fashion. Front end looks pretty much the same as all the other ones as far as turn signals and controls go. Let's put her into first. This is a 650, so it's got a little bit of power to it. It's gonna sit upright, a little bit straighter bar, kind of like a dirt bike, a big dirt bike. I mean, I can feel already that there's a lot of power behind this. First, we're gonna go a different route today. All right, and we're off. So initial first impressions, I forgot my glove. I'm gonna get onto Hall Road here, the busier streets. All right, let's talk about a few things. First, shifting, very clunky. I love it. I love clunky shifting. Very distinct clicks, and I like that. Braking, very good braking power. The seating position is very upright, very comfortable. I mean, it's a lot of bike, and it feels like a lot of bike. It does not feel too nimble. It does not feel too twitchy. I mean, it's a lot of bike right here, and it's a lot of bike with a lot of top end weight. Where the weight's up higher a little bit, it sits you quite a bit higher than like a cruiser or a sport bike would. Not as easy to control at lower speeds. Once you get up to fast speeds though, I mean, it feels great. I think that's where it excels. Real easy to find out what gear you're in. Like I said, handling is not as easy, especially at slower speeds. I'm 5'10", and I'm tiptoeing this thing right now. So this is a pretty fast bike. It doesn't feel like you're gonna be dragging behind in traffic, but it's also not fast off rip. Let's give a little, not a 0 to 60, but a little pull. This Mustang thinks we're racing. That's not the case. And I'm not full throttle in this. This isn't my bike. This is a test ride. Shout out to Macomb Powersports. So we're gonna turn right into this little strip here. Braking, I mean, very powerful brakes on here. Let's see, oh, perfect. We've got some bumps and stuff we can try. Not too bad over the bumps. Pretty smooth. I like this position. This is a very upright position, very comfortable position. Coming from me as a sport bike rider, this is pretty cruisy. It feels good. You feel like you have a lot of power. Clutch pull is very tight, super stiff. I mean, it feels good. Not as easy to maneuver in tight areas. Slow speeds is not this thing's strong suit. I think this thing will excel on faster roads. Yeah, I really like the shifting down. Feels good. Everything feels good so far. Steering is I mean, the steering is very responsive, you know, in a good or bad way depending on how you like your steering. It is very responsive, so the little bit does a lot, especially at slow speeds with the geometry of this bike. All right, let's talk who this bike is for. I mean, a lot of good power at top speed. I mean, this is not your speed freak bike, but you have good power at the top end and very stable bike at top speed. Again, this is probably not for your shorter rider or your smaller rider. This is a big bike. The corners real well. Accelerates decent, but it's not going to be super get up and go. You have enough power to get yourself out of sticky situations in traffic. It doesn't feel like it's going to take off on you, which is good. But maybe not a beginner bike just because of the way it rides. It's a lot of bike to handle. So who is this bike for? In my opinion, this bike would be for somebody who is a little bit more experienced, likes the dirt bike geometry, the feel of a dirt bike with something that's more on-road. And there's a lot of bikes, so you feel real sturdy, you feel real stable. You have the wind covers, which is why I probably didn't notice I wasn't wearing gloves, is because it has these hoods here. It's a cool feature. Yeah, top speeds feel stable. You do get quite a bit of wind at top speeds. The windscreen doesn't seem to do a ton. Let's park this. I want to park it by my car. So freeway riding regularly may not be the most fun with this. So final thoughts on this: good at top speeds, feels very stable. It's got a lot of power, not a lot of low end, so you're not going to get 0 to 60s super fast. Kind of feels like a dirt bike, looks like a dirt bike if that's your thing. Has a lot of capabilities. I mean, this has more off-road tires on it, so dirt roads, this would be perfect if you lived on a dirt road. If you lived on a dirt road, this would be awesome. Lived out in the country, this is like the perfect country bike. 55 miles an hour, feels very comfortable on this. You feel very stable, probably be comfortable for a backseat rider, just because you have this very big seat, big gas tank. So if you're a sport bike rider and you're wanting to switch over, this is going to feel kind of at home with the way your legs are positioned, with a more behind you or straight up and down leg position, and a wide tank. But overall, tons of fun.
I left a few things out, so I just wanted to discuss them here. This is an on-road review of a bike that is capable of much more than just on-road. I'm trying to do a review video here. This is a tough review for this bike or types of bikes like this because this is a dual sport bike and this is just an on-road review. The capabilities of this bike is much more than just on-road. This would be a great bike for off-road. I think a benefit of this is that if you're using this for its dual purpose off-roading, you're not just going to be spinning in the dirt. It doesn't have that real quick torque that's going to like break loose in dirt, which is great for a bike like this that's designed to be on-road and off-road. So maybe one day I'll get to take one of these out on like a true off-road test ride, which would be cool. It'd be fun. It'd be a much more fair, honest review. This is just like an on-road review, and honestly it's still a fun bike on the road, but it can do so much more than that. But if you're looking for a bike that does both and you want to know how this performs on just regular road riding, I hope this video does that justice. This bike is going to be less beginner friendly because of how much power it has and because it's a really big bike. It's a lot of bike to manage. If you want something that's going to be better alternative for a beginner rider, something with less weight, less power, in a good way, the KLX, it's a 300cc motorcycle, very similar, a little smaller frame. I have a review video on that that's going to be dropping shortly. That would be the beginner version of this bike. The entry level to the dual sport off-road supermoto group. And that one's a ton of fun too. Not a ton of power, a lot more appropriate for somebody who's just kind of learning. That one is, I have an on-road review of that. Again, would love to be able to do like an off-road review of a bike like that.